it's Red. So today I'm going to be doing the bookshelf yearbook tag created by Emma from Emma's Books, and she also tagged me on this, so I will link her video down below, so definitely go check it out. It's just, oh my god, as soon as she created this I was like, I have to do it. I probably would have done it even if she hadn't tagged me, so I love it. So you know how like yearbooks, they always do, you know, best eyes, whatever. She decided to make that applicable to books. So yeah, let's do it. Best cover. For this, I chose this vintage edition of The Great Gatsby, which you can get on Book Depository, which is where I bought it for like $5, and it's beautiful and amazing, and I don't know, I'm just obsessed with it. Best male protagonist. Now, I don't know if he's the best male protagonist, but I genuinely enjoyed his perspective, and he's not the only protagonist of the book, because if you've ever read any of Ellen Hopkins' books, you'll know that most of the time, not always, but most of the time, the point of view shift between several different characters and their lives. But I am picking Connor specifically from Impulse because I just found him such an interesting protagonist, just the way his mind worked, just how messed up his family was. I don't know. When it came to reading this book, it was his sections that I looked forward to reading the most. Best female protagonist. For this, I chose Evie from The Diviners because she is straight up fabulous. I absolutely love her. I mean, she's very strong-willed, but she's just got so much life, and she's a total party girl and kind of selfish and very self-centered, but she is just the epitome of a flapper, and she's just amazing, and she's fabulous, and I adore her. The next one is Best Villain. And for this one, I'm also pulling from The Diviners, and that is Naughty John from The Diviners because he's just got this creepy song, and he's just so evil and so dark and so awesome despite the fact that you want him to die again. I don't know, he's just such a cool character, and I just think he makes it a freaking amazing villain. Cutest Couple. For this, and I'm sure this is probably no surprise to anybody that's read it, but I chose Cress and Captain Thorn from Cress, from the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer, because Captain Thorn is just so funny and sarcastic, and he's great, and then Cress is just so innocent and adorable with this total puppy dog crush, and it's so flippin' cute. Like, I can't even handle how adorable their coupleness is. Like, it's not even that cute couple that we're like, oh my god, you know, no. Like, they're just flipping cute, and you can't even handle it, and it's so cute that it makes me want to punch them in the face. Coolest fictional world. Is it any surprise that I chose Harry Potter? Really? Besides the fact that I feel like I haven't picked out Harry Potter in a tag in a while, so it was probably about time to make its way around anyway. Despite that, seriously, I know I am not the only one still waiting for my Hogwarts letter. No, I know that. Like, seriously, where is it? Where is it? Yeah, this needs to exist. Most interesting plot. And maybe it's just because I just finished it, but I'm gonna have to go with the Unbecoming Amara Dyer trilogy, because just this one is so good, and the second one is so good, and the third one I liked less than the other two, but it was still so good. Like, it's so, I don't know, it's just creepy and mysterious, and I can't predict anything, and it's just so interesting and captivating, and it's fantastic. Most overhyped book. Again, no surprise if you've watched my videos, and I want to clarify that this is most overhyped book, not movie, because this makes a difference in my mind, and I do not own them, but I'm gonna have to pick the Hunger Games trilogy, because I got bored with the Hunger Games. I really did. It was just not my cup of tea. It really wasn't. It was not for me. But I love the movies. I think the movies are freaking fantastic. Like, I'm obsessed with the movies. I think they're amazing, and I'm so grateful to the books for existing for the pure reason that they create awesome movies. And the concept is amazing, but the books themselves just weren't for me, and I don't really understand what the big deal is. I'm glad they're a big deal because that's how they become a movie. And if they weren't a big deal, then they would never be a movie. But still, I still don't understand it, even if I'm glad, if that makes sense. Most underhyped book. I'm gonna have to pick The Devouring by Simon Holt, and I'm starting to wonder if Simon Holt is even a real person. I don't know, because you just cannot find anything on him at all. which is weird. But anyway, the Devouring trilogy, I just adore it. I don't know, they're very fast, quick reads. They're not very big, but they're really good. I don't know, I just really like them, and nobody ever reads this series, and it's so sad. Most likely to put you to sleep. Now, I realized that probably when she created this question that it was meant for a book that you find boring, but I'm not actually picking a boring book right now. I'm really not. This is a book that literally puts me to sleep, and I cannot, for the life of me, explain why. I have no clue. And that is Winger by Andrew Smith. It's actually kind of funny because I actually really like this book. I actually love this book, and it's not boring. It is not boring at all. At least I didn't find it boring. I found, you know, I mean, the main character, I think his name's Ryan Dean West, if I'm not mistaken. But no, like, he's actually a good character, and it's a really good book, and I seriously recommend you guys to pick it up. But I have no idea why, but every time I tried to read this book, and it took me so long to get through this book, because I kept falling asleep. Like, inexplicably just falling asleep, and I wouldn't even have been tired, I wouldn't have been ready for bed. No, I just would inexplicably fall asleep like somebody sprinkled sleeping dust or something on the pages of this book. It is so weird. It's not boring. So that's why I'm saying, like, this is a book that literally, and I mean literally, put me to sleep multiple times, and I cannot explain it. Like, every time I try to read it, it took me so long to read it because I could only get a couple pages in before I fell asleep. I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand. So that's why I'm picking this book. But this is not to say that it is boring, because it is not. So go read it because it's actually really good. Book most likely to get picked up at a bookstore. Now, I actually had a hard time with this because I just feel like there are a lot of books that people buy at a bookstore. I might have picked Game of Thrones, but I don't own any Game of Thrones. I don't know. So, because I feel like that's really popular, maybe Gone Girl, but I don't own that either. And I really wanted to pick something that I did own, considering that I already said The Hunger Games and I don't own that. So I'm going to say Fangirl, because it just seems like bookstores have trouble keeping this on their shelves because people are still buying it like crazy because it's good. And then they hear from their friends that it's good, so other people go and pick it up because it's good. It's good. Most likely to collect dust on the bookshelf in a store, I'm guessing. Yes, on the shelf in a bookstore. And for that, I chose Asylum by Madeleine Roux. Now, I have seen this for a while in the bookstores. I mean, I saw this around for a while before I even picked it up. I mean, it's really creepy. It actually has a pretty awesome cover, and when you read the synopsis sounds really cool. But I've always just seen, and it's really funny because I've never heard anybody talk about this book. Nobody has talked about this book. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, because I'm not gonna lie, this book was not very good. It was not very good. I don't know. It's just not for me, but people barely seem to read this. I've heard so little about it. So that right there seems like a reason. There's no talk about it, so that seems like a reason it would just collect shelf on the books, like on the shelf in the bookstore. But also it's just not good. I don't know. Something about it people just don't buy. Most likely to be reread. I chose a different copy of The Great Gatsby just for the sake of change. But The Great Gatsby, I have reread this book, I don't know, so many times, like more than I've ever reread any book in my life. I pretty much reread this at least once a year. I don't know, I adore it. And finally, the greatest book of all time. I don't know if this is the greatest book of all time. I do not feel qualified to tell you, so I'm just going to pick out my favorite book, and that is The Silver Linings Playbook by Matthew Quick. Now, people are home, so I'm sorry my dogs are barking right now, but I'm trying to get through this video. But no, The Silver Linings Playbook by Matthew Quick is my favorite book, and I love it. So, yeah, go read it because it's flippin' fantastic. So at least in my world, it is the greatest book of all time. That is all for this video. Thank you, Emma, for tagging me in it and creating this tag. I am going to tag... I don't know yet. I can't even, I'm like blanking right now. So I will tag a few people in the description box or maybe in the comments. I don't know, somewhere. I'll tag somebody somewhere. But if you do want to do this, like this sounds like something you want to do, I am tagging you. You can go in your video and say that I tagged you because I am officially tagging you right now. And we'll see if I tag anybody specifically. I don't know. Maybe I'll think of somebody that wasn't tagged. But she tagged a lot of people, so I don't know. I'll figure it out later. Okay, bye.